Shalom, shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. I want to say double honors to our apostles, who are elders who rule well. Also, blessed salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring true sincerity. This is a lesson going over the balance of action. Again, we're going over the balance of action. Talking about action, when you're talking about the balance of action, you got the action in itself and the lack thereof. And so the things that cause the action or the lack thereof is very important. As the scriptures say, a wise man speaketh, you know, and holdeth his tongue when he find, he hold his tongue and when he finds season he speaketh. So it's important to know when to act and when not to act. The things that causes procrastination is called there's a term called information paralysis, to where when we're talking about, let's say doing a lesson, to where you want to get a certain amount of precepts together, but then when you're dealing with the spirit, as the scripture says, quench not the spirit, and we're going to get that, matter of fact, because we're going to just show, the scriptural connections. So when you go into that word, quench, in the First Thessalonians 5:19, it says, quench not the spirit. So the spirit may give you an unction to do a lesson right then and there. And for two, the Lord will put his words in our mouths, and not only the words in our mouth, but the ability to accomplish the action that is set before us. Now, before, what can cause information paralysis is when you're trying to prepare for that said action, and you try to over prepare because you want to get it right. There's nothing wrong with getting something right. It's just like, being ready for a fight, and you're running and you're doing your cardio. You're not supposed to do cardio the week of the fight, because you can risk injury and you can risk soreness and you can underperform. You can overtrain for a fight. So even with acting, you can overanalyze a thing instead of just doing it, because at the end of the day, it's a 50-50. But you want to give yourself the best chances to succeed by preparing. So yeah, you want to gather your information. You don't want to just act presumptuously. Just like with the scriptures, like the scriptures say, don't do things without counsel, right? But if you just sit and you getting counsel, you will never act. All right. So we're going to go into Proverbs chapter 20, verse 4. It says, the sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold. Therefore shall he beg and harvest and have nothing. Yeah, so this is pretty much going over, you know, uh, uh, someone that's not acting because of unpleasantry. Sometimes you are not act because the situation's too harsh or the environment's too harsh for you. You have to be willing to take it there. You got first, in order to act, you can't worry about how hard it's going to be. Okay, so we're going to go into Ecclesiastes, which is more applicable to what this is talking about, where it says, if the clouds, Sirach is the class, Ecclesiastes 11, chapter 11, verse 3 through 6 says, if the clouds be full of rain, they empty themselves upon the earth. And if the tree fall toward the south or the north, in the place where the tree falleth, there shall it be. He that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regard the clouds shall not reap. So it's, when it says that when a tree shall fall to the north, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's how life works. So if things happen, that's what happens, and that's your information right there that you need. It says, he that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regard the clouds shall not reap. As thou knowest not what is the way of the spirit, nor how the bones do grow in the womb of her that is with child, even so thou knowest not the works of the Most High, who maketh all. In the morning sow thy seed, and in the evening withhold not thy hand, for thou knowest not whether it shall prosper, either this or that, or whether they both shall be alike good. So what is it saying? It's saying pretty much take action. So if you're planting something, you could say, well, I don't want to plant this plant because it may not grow. It may not. Just gather the information on what plant will grow and you plant that plant. But if you sit there and say, well, if I plant over here, the sun don't hit this way, and then if I plant over there, it's like, bro, just plant it and then do what you're supposed to do. You gather your information and then you act upon that analysis, but don't get information paralysis from those said actions. You know what I'm saying? That can very well happen very easily. Okay, we're gonna go to Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 8. It says, "The wisdom of the prudent is to understand its way, but the folly of fools is deceit." So this is the counter to just doing something presumptuously, because once you go into that word presumptuously, it just breaks down to pre-assume. But we're going to get it. So presumptuous goes to arrogant, overweening, inter, in, impertinent, impertinent, going beyond the limits of propriety or good sense in thought or conduct. You see, so pretty much you're going without the accurate amount of information. You know what I'm saying? To matter of fact, let's get the scripture. I don't want to jump the gun. In Luke chapter 14, verse 28, it says, "For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it?" So now it's the balance of acting. So now this is the other side. You don't want to do things without just putting together a game plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. But at the same time, you have to have faith in what you're acting on is going to succeed. All right. And if it don't succeed, then you go back and rethink and find out what could I have done, what went wrong, and what could I have done to avoid that wrong, and you learn from that, and then you try it again. Okay. So, acting, you can get information paralysis from gathering too much information, and you could be presumptuous by acting and not coming with a game plan or just being emotional, right? Because the spirit and the flesh, the two things about the spirit, one thing about the spirit is an unction from the Most High, and then the flesh is feelings. So you can feel angry and feel like that's the spirit telling you to do something on it, and then no, it's just anger. So you got to be sober-minded in your intentions and what you plan to do. And if you're doing it in the name of the Most High, so that should definitely encourage your action. Okay, as long as you're not doing things presumptuously and with wicked intent or selfish intent. Okay, just like with lessons, you could put a lesson up in the flesh. You could put a lesson up just because you have to put a lesson up, and you just pick any type of subject. You're not spiritually connected to it, and you're just doing something. You could try to make a long lesson, a short lesson. You have to just act in sincerity and in truth. So when you put that lesson up, it's with the intent of saying, okay, I want to put this lesson up. This lesson moved me in the spirit, and I want to share this and break this down, or share this with the Akim with the hopes of edifying. Okay, that's the ultimate goal, is to warn the people, to build up the elect. So regardless if it takes 5 minutes or 2 hours or 3 hours to do that, that's what suffices for that situation. All right. So in order to act, you got to understand what's your end goal, what the results are you trying to produce, and you got to understand what's your intent. Okay, so your results is your results good results at the end of the day? Is it according to the Lord's will? All right, or will the Lord allow it? Because you could do a carnal action too. You can work a double, or you can holler at a chick. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you ask yourself, will this woman stop me from doing my what I'm out here intended to do? As the scripture says, see that what is evil unto thy life, and give not that unto it. All right. So I just wanted to put that out there, that we are prudent and circumspect in our actions, and this is something I've learned, because I'm more on the side of getting information paralysis to whether I want to put out something good or I want to do something good or produce something good to the point that I'm trying to avoid failure. And that causes me to sit there and gather so much information that I lose the enthusiasm to do the action. And I have to just act and get it wrong and then find out what I did wrong and get back at it. You know, where some people are just, you know, flying off the cuff. They wear their heart on their sleeve, for lack of better words, and they say and they do things just off the immediate feel without looking at everything. So it's just the balance of action, okay? The balance of action that I wanted to share, and hopefully this was edifying that we are mindful of that. Hey, with that being said, I want to say, call hello, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Bahara Kakadash, double honor to our apostles who are elders, rule well. Blessed salutations to you, brothers, out there teaching and enduring truth and sincerity. Shalom.